Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy artisan bread. So let's get started. To make the dough, in a large mixing bowl, add in the bread flour and yeast. Mix them to combine them. Then add in the salt and mix it in until it's combined. We mix the yeast and salt in separately because the salt will kill the yeast if it comes into direct contact with it. Then add in the cool water. It should be around 70 degrees. Don't use warm water. I'll explain why later. And mix it in until it's combined and it forms a dough. It will be quite a soft dough, but if you feel like it's too soft, feel free to add in a little more flour, but not too much more that it becomes a stiff dough. It should still be soft and sticky. Then lightly flour the work surface. Turn the dough out onto the surface and knead it until it's smooth. Adding more flour if it's sticking. Only add a little at a time. You don't want too much flour to absorb into the dough. Then lightly grease the bowl from before. Place the dough into the bowl. Lightly grease the top of the dough. Wrap it tightly in plastic wrap and let it rise in a warm place for 2 to 3 hours until it roughly doubles in size. We use cool water in the dough so it rises more slowly, so it will need more time to rise than usual, and it helps develop better flavor and texture. You can even let the dough rise in the fridge for 12 hours or up to 3 days and it will develop the best flavor and texture that way. Once it has risen, turn it out onto a lightly floured work surface. Roll and shape it into a rectangle shape, trying not to press out too much air. Line the back of a baking sheet with parchment paper. Place the dough on top. Shape it into a rectangle that's about 10 inches long and about 5 inches wide. Lightly flour the top of the dough to keep the plastic wrap from sticking to it. Wrap it loosely in plastic wrap and let it rise in a warm place for about an hour until it's puffed up. Meanwhile, preheat the oven to 475 degrees. Place a stone pan into the oven while it's preheating so it gets nice and hot. If you don't have a stone pan, just bake the bread on top of the baking sheet. And place a cast iron pan onto the rack below it so it gets hot as well. Once the dough has proofed, carefully remove the plastic wrap. Lightly grease or flour your hands. And gently pull the edges in so it's not very flat. Then use a sharp knife to cut a few slashes on top of it. Then place it into the oven. Use the parchment paper to slide it onto the stone pan, or place the whole baking sheets into the oven if you're not using a stone pan. Then add 1 cup of hot water into the hot cast iron pan. It will create steam, which makes for a more crispy crust. And close the oven immediately so the steam doesn't escape, and bake it for about 20 minutes until it's golden and crisp and sounds hollow when you tap it with your finger. When it's done, remove it from the oven, just slide it back onto the baking sheet, and let it cool slightly. And it's best served still warm or hot. And that's how to make an easy artisan bread. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have so many more on my channel, so be sure to check them out and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.